Hello and welcome back to my channel, and it's the first of many that I have planned for experiments on Football Manager 19. It's the first probably so far only one that I can do on the beta save before the experiments, the editors come out. I'm pretty sure they're not out yet anyway, but if they are then I'll have to look at it and try and sort it out, but I'm pretty sure they're not out yet. So the first one, basically what I've done is I've done basically a preview of the first season of the 2018-19 season in the Premier League, and just to see what this match engine thinks is going to happen, you know, here on out. There is scope to progress this if you do want to look at something more specific, or if you want me to go further in time, I can do that. I might do that. I might go another 4 years to make it to 5 years, go to 10 years, and just see what happens in this world and see what happens. But so far we've gone the one season, and I haven't really got much of a idea exactly what to show. I've only done the Premier League and the Championship, so I'd have to open other leagues to look at other leagues and see what they're doing essentially. But we'll have a look at the Premier League this year. We've only gone to the 1st of June, so we should be able to see literally everything, and straight away I can see Man City are the champions. Liverpool finished 2nd, and Arsenal 3rd, Man United 4th, Tottenham 5th, Chelsea drop out into 6th place under Sarri, and yeah, the Cup, Everton also in the Cups. They must have won either the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, I assume, looking at it. Relegated is Crystal Palace, Huddersfield and Cardiff. Now, looking at until today's game, which I'm recording this on the Saturday just gone, Fulham got absolutely trounced by Cardiff. Cardiff were looking like surefires to be, you know, gone this season, but they've won a game, but they're still expected to finish in this game, certainly bottom of the table. Huddersfield probably certainly contenders to go down this season, and Palace just above them. Now, I don't think Palace will go down. I'm not too sure who I think will be the actual next team down. Southampton are in trouble, but in this save they finished 7th, so it doesn't believe that. I think Fulham and Watford might have a bit enough about them. Brighton perhaps could be in a bit of trouble. I don't know. Burnley look a bit in trouble. Newcastle look in trouble as well. Wolves only thinks finish 15th. Now I think they'll finish probably around here, and that'll be a good season for them. We'll look at the player stats in more depth in a moment. We'll have a look at the Championship, and we'll go straight to stages and league table. So Stoke, wow, okay, Stoke jump straight back up. Millwall come 2nd and get promoted. If that happens this season, I'll be absolutely amazed. Who's their manager? Staff, I think it's the old player, isn't it? I can't remember his name. Neil Harris, that's the one. He's their manager, and he's got them 2nd in the table. That is absolutely crazy. Who is their top scorer this season? Steve Morrison with 10. Is that it? Oh no, we've got Tom Bradshaw and Lee Gregory with 16 and 18 apiece. Okay, I was thinking, how have they got up with that 10 goal top goal scorer? But they've come 2nd. Villa come 3rd and do get the playoff place. Bielsa gets Leeds to 4th. West Brom end up in 5th, and QPR get the last spot in the playoffs, which I don't think, based on this season, is gonna happen there. I might be wrong. I've seen a little bit of Championship, but I'm pretty sure QPR are woeful. Sheffield United, who are doing very well this season generally, they're 7th, just miss out by 2 points. So Cleon and I think a few others in the community will be slightly disappointed by that. Swansea go down along with Bolton and Reading. Swansea, who just got relegated from the Premier League, this game thinks they are going straight down with, again, manager Steve Bruce. So they obviously sacked their manager. We'll have a look maybe a little bit more in depth in some of the clubs as well. Anything else surprising here? Middlesbrough are very far down in 15th. We did see Pullis in that news story when I started off, got sacked. Forest, I think, started off a bit rich, sacked their manager as well, and Wigan just survive. So yeah, they beat West Brom in extra time 3-2 Villa on the final day of the season. Again, we'll have a look at players in a bit more detail. So we'll go to the Premier League. We'll have we're going to check the FA Cup. Everton beat Man United 2-0 in the final. Not bad. Gylfi Sigurdsson, top goal scorer, ahead of Richie Bennett from Carlisle. Richard Bennett, one of the two, from Carlisle, with 6 goals against 4. I imagine Bennett probably played a few more earlier rounds. So for Gylfi Sigurdsson to get that many, not too bad. We've got the Carabao Cup, which I assume is the correct name on here still. It is. Man United beat Newcastle 1-0 in that game. Is it going to let me look at it? It is. Valencia on the 9th minute. I mean, you can't say they didn't deserve it. We'll have a look at some transfers as well. We won't pick out too many to look at right now. And we'll look at the Champions League, European Champions Cup, and Real Madrid have it again. Hang on, no, Real Madrid, it hasn't been played yet. I went far enough thinking we'd have played it. How often does the Champions League final get to June? But Juventus beat Monaco, Bayern beat Tottenham. So yeah, we've got a final between Bayern and Juventus. When is it? It's today. So we might just press enter at the end and see how they get on. See what happens in that. We've got the Euro Cup. Real Madrid win this. So they did win something this year. They beat Chelsea in the final 1-0. How did they do? Who did it? Asensio getting the goal in the 79th minute. And not many shots on target in this game. Not one for the purists, I'm guessing. But Real Madrid come out on top. And yeah, so that's looked at. So we'll look at transfers. So Dybala went to Man United for that's just happened, for £143 million. I mean, he's gone before. Has he gone before? No, it did happen. 1st of June 2019. No, 6th of January. Okay, they signed him in January. 143 million. Ruben Diaz went to Chelsea from Benfica for 54. Semedo to Liverpool for 37.5. Jesse Lingard went to Arsenal for £37 million. I mean, I have to have a look. He's okay. He did okay. Sabitzer to Man United for 36. Weigl to Man City for 35. Not many out so far. What is it really? De Ligt goes to Arsenal for 35. Chan goes to Man City from Juventus. Okay. Fred went to Lyon. Staffy went to Real Madrid, bizarrely. I'd take that deal happening right now. 27 million rather than nearly 40. I'd take that to lose Mustafi. Anyone else there that jumps out? Because Chelsea to Monaco. I mean, surely he was injured in January still. Maybe not. He played 25 games for Arsenal. Bizarre. Ramsey went to Chelsea. I'm guessing they cashed on him before his contract ran out. In my save, I managed to get him tied to a contract. I just paid him his money. Lozano to Arsenal. Arsenal doing some bits in the transfer market. Guerrero. Lanzini went to Shakhtar. Not a transfer I could make in my first season, but they did. We're going to scroll down. I'm not going to read too many more out. Just let you have a little look if you want to have a look. I just noticed another Arsenal one, Pavon. I'm just contradicting myself now. I am looking at some of them. Yeah, there's a few others there. So I'll just scroll down so you can have a quick look if you want to have a look. If we go down to the Championship, so Jack Grealish went to Leicester. Fleck went to Southampton. Just saw a nasty bit of skill from him on Twitter today. Beating about 5 players before squaring it for a tap-in. Wolves to Stoke. Benica Phobe. How did he do? I mean, he was on loan anyway, so it's just like a finalisation of the deal, I think, by the looks of it. Bradley Dack left Blackburn for Newcastle. He's having a good season this year. There's a few for you to look at. I mean, Millwall sold someone for 7 million and then still finished second. Etienne Capoue went to Swansea, who then went down. I mean, that's just crazy itself. So yeah, I'll scroll down so you can have a little look if you want to have a look at that. So that's transfers taken care of. That's backing goals. 2 players on 18, Sergio Aguero and Mohamed Salah. What are the odds on that happening at the end of this season? Firmino just behind on 17, Harry Kane on 16, Chris Wood for Burnley, bizarrely, Leroy Sané, Aubameyang got 14, Morata got 14 as well. I mean, who says this game isn't realistic, eh? Sadio Mane, Alexis Sanchez, yes, quite a lot of goals in Premier League, quite a lot, hitting double figures, which is good to see. We've got assists. We'll look at penalties actually. Christian Benteke got 2 out of 2. I mean, is that it? Not a lot of penalties in the Premier League this season, or certainly not a lot of players scoring a lot of them. bit strange. Not sure if that's a bug to report. Not many penalties in the game. Not too sure. I'll maybe go and report it afterwards. Got the little report bug feature here. We've got assists. Jan Moutinho, not out of the realms of possibility. Alexis Sanchez, Juan Mata, Davy Proper. We've got Lewis Cook there. Mesut Ozil down in 6th. Mr. Can I Assist You, of course. Bernard, I knew he'd left Shakhtar. He'd gone to Everton on a free, I think, didn't he? I think it was a free. Yeah, it was a free. Yeah, it's changed the sides now. It used to be the free. If I click on what I'm actually showing rather than just pointing, because you can't see me pointing, the free used to be here, I think, and now it's on this side. It's throwing me. So who else is there? Not too much to look at there. I don't think there's much else we need to look at, particularly defending. Clean sheets, perhaps. Goalkeeping. Clean sheets. So Edison is top, Hugo Lloris is third, and Alisson Becker is second. And Alisson Becker is third. David De Gea, Bern Leno, Tom Heaton. Yeah, the usual crowd sort of following. Scroll down to the Championship. Who got the goals here? So Dwight Gale, top goal scorer with 19. Joint is Famara Diédhiou. I assume I said that right. For Bristol City. Tomer Hamed for QPR. Where was he last year? He was at like Brighton or somewhere, wasn't he? Brighton. So they've loaned him out this season to QPR. Naki Wells at QPR as well. Is he? I thought he was at Burnley. Oh yeah, okay, he was just on loan. Okay. Tammy Abraham at Villa, always expected to be up and about for goals in that division. Lee Gregory, Billy Sharp. Again, we'll just have a little scroll down, let you take it all in for yourself. Eddie Nketiah on loan from Arsenal for West Brom, getting 13. Good season for him. Patrick Bamford at Leeds. Yeah, so some familiar names here. Penalties. Again, it's two out of 2. It's got to be a bug, hasn't it? Let me know if you've experienced similar in your games. Let me know if if the penalties are very low. I've not seen any talk of it in the community or on Twitter or anything like that. But assists, Jackson Irvine for Hull gets 13. Samu Saiz for Leeds. Obviously, we saw him in Golden FM series. Was a very key player, being Bielsa. And just a few others there. Chris Brunt, Joe Ledley under Derby under Frank Lampard, of course. Yeah. So what else we've got? We got goalkeepers clean sheets. We've got 2 and 18. Sam Johnson at West Brom and Jack Butland at Stoke. Followed by Darren Randolph at Borough. Dean Henderson at Sheffield United. David Raya at Blackburn. Manager movements. There we go. So Roy Hodgson was sacked. I think it was the first one to go. No, right. It was no. Start down the bottom. Claude Puel was the first to go at Leicester. He went in December. Poor results. He was replaced by a caretaker manager, who was then replaced. He's there for a good couple of weeks. He's replaced by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Leicester. He is still there. Where did Leicester end up finishing? I think they finished 8th. So they ended up finishing fairly respectable under Solskjaer. Second half of the season just picked up and yeah. Wolves, Espirito Santo was sacked, poor league position. Replaced by Sean O'Driscoll as caretaker manager before Sam Allardyce was then hired, and they didn't do much better really, did they? They finished just above the drop, and then at the end of the season Palace went down, didn't they? They did. So they gave them to the end of the season, but Roy Hodgson did end up disappearing and getting sacked. Wow, Sky Bet Championship. So the first one to go was Aitor Karanka was the first one to be sacked at Forest in November, poor league position, and then replaced by Carlos Coberjan, who I think he didn't get sacked again. So then Jos Lukai, isn't that PewDiePie's channel or show? Lukai? No, that's Luai. Replaced by Paul Stevens. No. Sheffield Wednesday then took a while to replace him. Oh yeah, a good couple of weeks later with Francesco Guidolin. In the meantime, Tony Pulis was sacked at Middlesbrough, and wow, they took just as long, really, and replaced him with Steve McLaren. They went back to second to a Steve. He went back. QPR sacked Steve McLaren, so he literally on the same day. Oh no, he was offered the job. He didn't leave. He was at QPR and he was offered the job at Borough, and QPR ended up finishing in the playoffs, and Borough would right down the bottom somewhere. They did offer Chris Ramsey the caretaker position, the Geordie comedian. Not too sure. I don't think it's him. And Swansea sacked Graham Potter on the 18th of December. A lot of November-December sackings, it's clear to see. Players lost confidence. That's always a good reason to sack a manager. And they waited until 8th of January before getting Steve Bruce in, who took them down. Norwich sacked Daniel Farke, not sure how it's pronounced, replacing him with Lee Johnson. And then who else we got? Lee Johnson, okay, he left Bristol City to go to Norwich. We've looked at Bristol City, yeah. They hired Paul Lambert, always a good signing, always a good appointment. He's guaranteed results. Where did they finish in the end? 17th, that high. Let's go down. Reading sacked Paul Clement, poor results. Phil Parkinson was also sacked about a week later. No, he was offered a new job. Did he take one of the other ones? No, where did he go then? He went to Reading. Did we miss that? Paul Clement sacked, poor results, and they hired Phil Parkinson. Phil Parkinson offered new job, so Bolton hired Kenny Jackett, who eventually, actually Bolton went down, didn't they? As did Reading, I think. 20 seconds, yeah, both went down, so 6 one half dozen the other, really, isn't it? Leaving a job, at least he got a good payout somewhere probably. Darren Moore was then sacked by West Brom in February, poor league position, replaced by Chris Wilder. Sheffield United, in fact, yeah, so he left us off a new job, replaced by Brian Dean. He's now under 23 coach again, before they then hired Tony Pulis and finished, I think, 7th, just outside, didn't they? Yeah, so some interesting manager appointments there, a bit of a managerial merry-go-round going on, a lot of the same names appearing and reappearing. We're going to look at the Champions League, so we'll do a quick forward one day. Crystal Palace have also in the meantime hired Michael Laudrup. Meanwhile, they were also offering Bielsa. They should have given it to Bielsa, really. So if we go and look at the Champions League, and Bayern beat Juventus 1-0. James Rodriguez very early on, the 5th minute, getting the goal. Bertrand Traoré plays for Bayern. 43 million? 43? Are you insane? Okay. They apparently are insane. Renato Sanchez, there's Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously at Juventus, gets to a final in his first full season, his first season in Italy. Just can't quite get the win, which would have been what, number 5 in a row, something like that for him. Was it Real Madrid got 3 or 4 in a row, something like that. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave that episode for now. If there's anything specific you do want to take a look at, if you want me to look at the player stats for the Champions League, I can maybe go and do that, or maybe just put it on Twitter or something. If you want me to go sort of another 5 years, another 10 years, whatever in the future, that's something I can do as well. We can just sort of have a look how, you know, who wins what in the coming years, and I can go on as long as I need to, as long as the computer will let me sort of sim that far and without burning and smoking the room out. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this episode, this experiment, do drop a like on the video. Drop a sub to my channel as well if you're new. There's going to be some more experiments coming once FM19 full version drops, so I can get the editor rolling. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you later. Take care.